Good morning, YouTube and Facebook friends. This is Judy. I just wanted to give you an update on Rome. The Pope gave let out his feelings on how we ought to get along with the Jews, and that the Jews don't have to accept Jesus Christ to be saved. He said the gifts of the calling of God are irrevocable. You could go on the Vatican website and read this. It's December 10th document is known also. Discuss the church's mandate to evangelize in relation to Judaism. It says that the church does not support any specific institutional mission work directed towards Jews. It says also in one part, I'm not going to read this, it's too long. I tried to record this right before this video, and it's too upsetting. He says that it adds, however, that though there can be only one path to salvation, it does not in any way follow that the Jews are excluded from God's salvation because they do not believe in Jesus Christ as the Messiah of Israel and the Son of God. That the Jews are participants in God's salvation is theologically unquestionable. But how that can be possible without confessing Christ explicitly is and remains an unfathomable divine mystery. So basically he's saying that the Jews have salvation without believing in Jesus Christ because they're God's people and they're under a covenant with God. And that we are not to proselytize them. We are not to try to bring them to Jesus Christ. That the most important thing is to make our relationship with them politically correct, and in order to alleviate any anti-Semitism that may arise from the difference in our beliefs. Basically, that's what it's saying. And something else also that's interesting in the Vatican. They have hired the same people, I think it's called Fiat Lux, who projected all these animals on the Empire State Building, and who also, this company projected the Indian goddess, the destroyer, on the World Trade, not the World Trade Center, I'm so upset I can't even think straight. The Empire State Building. That demonic face with the tongue hanging out. It's the same company that is projecting images of animals onto the Vatican. They started out with this huge lion. Now you might think, if they were in line with Christ, that this would be the coming of the Lion of Judah, but it isn't. It's creationism. They're worshiping the earth and the creatures in it, not the Creator. This people is the abomination. This is what I said in my last video, that the Pope has now come forward and revealed their position on everything. He's speaking it in the holy place, which is an abomination. And God is very, very angry. Judgment is about to befall the earth. Everybody needs to get into prayer. I see my friends out there on YouTube, my Christian friends, and they're all feeling this impending doom that's looming. And the Father is letting everybody know, his children know, that he's just about had enough of it. So what I would say to my friends out there, if you're not saved, you need to get into prayer right away. You need to come to the Lord. You need to pray for Jesus to break your delusion, because the Lord said that the people that are in the delusion, that don't want the truth, he's going to give them the delusion. He's going to seal the delusion so they can't get out of it. But there's some people who are in the delusion that are sitting on the fence. Those people need to wake up. This is a time right now where we need to reach out to others. We need to come to others and tell them that the time is now. The time is up. Okay, the Lord is about to descend upon the earth to gather his faithful and take them out of here before all hell breaks loose. I don't know what else to say to wake up some of the people that I know that are so connected to this world that they're just getting up and they're going through the motions every day, like almost as if none of this is going to get to them. None of it. They think because it's happening in the Middle East or it happened in another state that it's not going to come to them. United States is not going to declare martial law. Let me tell you something. The Lord is using ISIS and using all these calamities, these climate tragedies around the world. He is permitting these things to happen. This is the way he's calling you to go to your knees. He's not doing this so you can just bury your head in whatever is important to you and thinking that it's never going to touch you. It's here. It's almost here. These barbaric evildoers are in our country. It's only a matter of time till the chaos gets really, really intense and happens on a daily basis, that the government is going to call for martial law, and people, America, the way we have known it, is not going to recover anymore. The old America is over. You can't be patriotic about this country anymore because it is not the same America. America has been taken over by the Muslim Brotherhood. They're inside the government. This is why when you see things happen, you can't understand why the government doesn't make these corrections that seem logical and the right thing to do to protect the people. It's because he's not interested in protecting the people. He's interested in bringing the chaos, because the more the chaos comes, the more out of order and dysfunctional the world becomes, the closer he can come to declaring martial law, to remove once he declares martial law, the Constitution is dead. You don't have any rights anymore. They could come into your house, they can confiscate your weapons, they can take your money, they could do whatever they want, and they're going to force the new world order. There's nothing that man can do. The people on the news, the leaders that are not in bed with the kings of the nations, okay, that are just starting to wake up, because you can see some of these people on the news starting to get angry now because they're starting to wake up, but there's really nothing you could do because this is all prophesied. It's supposed to happen. So the only protection you have is to come to the Lord. You need to confess your sins. You need to ask God for forgiveness, and you will become a new person, and he will protect you from what is about to come. That is the only way. There is no other way. This is all written in the Bible. It's happening. It's coming to pass. The people that are resisting this are resisting with their pride, and they're resisting with the love of the world, and they don't want to give up what is they're enjoying in their flesh. And you're going to suffer here. I can't explain to you. I don't have the words to explain to you the horror that is about to come upon the earth. This, what the Pope is doing to the Jubilee, is the abomination of desolation. That lion and the animals that they're projecting on the Vatican, they may as well put the rainbow for marriage equality on there, because it's just as bad what they're doing. Take yourself into prayer, people. Go to your knees. Time is almost up. All I can tell you to do, if you're fearful, is start counting your blessings. Start focusing on all the days that you woke up, that there was food on your table and a roof over your head, and your children were safe, and your grandchildren are safe, and you're still able to hug and kiss everybody. Your family's not separated by disaster. There's plenty of things you can be thankful for if you just focus on them. And I know some of you are suffering with illness and disease and terminal illness. I will personally pray for you, okay? But prayers only get answered when you make yourself right with the Lord, okay? If you're not right with the Lord, your prayers are not going to reach his ears. If you still want to cling to the earth, if you still want to cling to your sin, God is not going to hear your prayer. That's why people that are not right with the Lord come to prayer warriors, because prayer warriors have carved the groove from their obedience to the Lord, and the Lord hears them through obedience, through devotion, through humility, through offering themselves on the altar to the Lord, mind, body, and soul. These are the facets that need to be present to produce productive prayer and to get your prayers heard and answered. So if you are sinning and you're asking God to save you from dying of this or suffering from that, or you're not right with him. He's going to say, I don't know you. Do you know me? Did you ever take the time out of your daily life to get to know me? When you wake up in the morning, do you take the first fruits of your day, the first minutes, the first hour of your day, which is the first fruit of your day, and offer it back to the Lord? Spend that time with him. Talk to him as if you're talking to your husband and your wife or your kids sitting right next to him. That's what he wants. That's Holy Communion. You're acknowledging that he's there and that he hears you. And once you do that, he will hear you. And you will be a successful prayer warrior. And you will be able to do great things in the Lord. I pray for all the people in the United States. I pray for all the people, the Muslims that are really not true Muslims at heart. Because if they were true Muslims at heart, they're radical. If they're not radical, they're cultural Muslim. They're not real Muslims because they have goodness in them. They need to come to Christ. Everybody needs to come to Christ. Christ is the only way to the kingdom of heaven. It's the only way to get to the Father. If you don't put your sin behind you, you're going to perish. You're going to perish. I don't want to see you perish. God doesn't want to see you perish. Please reach out to the Lord. You have my blessings. You have my prayers.